I first started nudity when I was a young kid in a farm in Yuma, Arizona. And all of us, we swam on a water container, a big one. Uh, there was a big wheel on the top bringing in the water. And that's how we first enjoy our swim in nudity. I was in the service, and I went to Boston, Massachusetts. And on top of the hill, I saw a lot of nudity, so I started taking my clothes off and joining them. I discovered Glen Eden when me and my wife were driving. We saw the sign, and we came in and said we would like to join. They gave us a little interview, and we were in. It happened about 1977. Glen Eden at that time was very, very nice. There was a lot of forestry, not too many people. There were a few, and most of it was on this confinement. Everywhere else was nothing like a jungle. A lot of brushes, a lot of birds, a lot of snakes, and it was a beautiful sight. Well, it was like a jungle. It was very nice. So many things happened. There were the birds and rabbits and so forth walking through the jungle. And we were all on a nude. And then we would come to Glen Eden and we would swim, take a shower, go to the jacuzzi, and then go to the sauna. That was our daily take about Glen Eden. We hiked. We also played ball. Then there were runners, so I ran. A lot of activities that we participated in. One of the events that I saw was the circus, the carnival and so forth. That was very delightful. And then I played softball. But again, on top of a donkey, you're supposed to get on top of the donkey, go to first base, second base, and so forth. But the donkeys didn't want to go. So we had to hit them and everything else. And sometimes the donkey wouldn't budge at all. So we had to pull and push. That was part of the effort of playing baseball with donkeys. Recanet was one of them and his wife. There was a guy by the name of Blanco who was a professor at the Riverside College. And he was going to run for president. And some of the guys that I know died, but there again, that was such a long time. A lot of ladies. I like to play pool, and this is one of the things that we did. We played pool, and then we danced, and then I decided, let's get rid of the wall, and I proceeded to decorate the front. Then I ordered four tables to be put in. And I got one of the old tables. I drove it to Yuma, to my friends over there, the Kishan Indian, Fort Yuma. It's on the California side. And that's where I took the pool table on a trailer. Took it all the way. I think I made about 45 miles an hour all the way until I got it there. I also took the cue balls and the sticks. And I arrived at the police station. I talked to them that I wanted some help, that I was taking the table to the main office, and they said okay. They got the help, and everybody went there, and it took about 4 of them to pick up the tables and put them in there. And they started playing ball. That was a lot of fun. But the drive was about 5 miles. No, it was more than that. It took me about half a day to get there. Then a half a day coming back. So it took me a whole day. 5 hours is what it was. 5 hours each way. 45 miles an hour. Rick and Ed was very tall, lean, and he was a lot of fun. He took a trip to Mexico on the outskirts. He went to Copper Canyon. He took his van on a truck. I mean, his pickup truck. Rick and Ed was a very, very fine man. He was tall. And he took a ride on a train. He put his truck in it, and they drove on it. He also learned how to play Mexican train. And when he came back, he came to my place, and he taught me how to play Mexican train. And I loved the game. From there on, we played. That included Rick and Ed, and sometimes the other people. I can't recall their names now. I used to know them all. And that was about it on the game. I first came to Glen Eden. I became ill. She took me in, and I rested till I got well. Then she put me in a room in the back, and that's where I stayed. I never went to the kitchen or any place else. It's just at my place, and I will get out. And I became the gardener for Aunt Clendenning. Later on, I married her. And we were happy for about 11, I think we were married about 11 years. She was very fine, very well taught. She taught me well. But there again, one day I started cooking, and she says to me, "Tom, you know how to cook better than me." So I started cooking, and that's the way it was. I did the cooking. But I loved it. And I'm trying to recall the names of the people that used to come there. There were quite a few. They used to like Ann. I got to know them. And that was about it right there. Of course, I did a lot of planting for her. I grew flowers all over the place. And you will see on the pictures the flowers that I planted. They were great. Very good place to plant flowers. But then again, something happened. The fire, the water, destroyed everything. I had statues that were buried. I had a variety of paint that were buried. I did a lot of drawings for the Gauchi Center in Riverside. And they used to perform. They used to have shows. I used to make the backgrounds for them. The site with Ann was very nice. Uh, we had company and we would feed them, and we enjoyed ourselves. She played cards, and that was more or less the routine, playing cards, all types. And me, I like Mexican train. Then we started playing Mexican train, and it was enjoyable. But I just can't remember the names that of the people that I played with because there were quite a few. That was about it on that. The liquor at that time was it could not be had anywhere. The reason they had it there is because there were a few people that liked drinks. That was the office where they used to make the laws of Glen Eden. Everything from Glen Eden, that's where he started. In accumulating all types of paper. And liquor was served to only those that were there. There were about at least 10 of them. And we had a good bar. It was very well tended. And each one of them bought their own bottles. But they were charged for the liquor that was given to them for being there. And also there was a bedroom, lights everywhere. And sometimes we would have people come in, sit down, and relax. But the laws were always being made. And somebody would come in and say, hey, could we do this and that? Say, hey, that's a very good idea. Let's put it down, and they did. That's about all I can remember on that one. Mildred used to love to come there, but Rick and I didn't like it. So one time he came in and so far he was punched on the face only once, and that's all. And that was it. It wasn't very hard or anything like that, but it just that he didn't like the drinking. But of course later on we decided, we better call it a quits. And they did. But I didn't want the club to be destroyed, the cops or anything. So I said, let's leave everything the way it is. And it was. My volunteering in Glen Eden was really great. I like to participate with people. I enjoyed the company, and it was very nice. We decided to have a 20-year reception for those that were over 20 years. So we had a party, and I would volunteer to help out. And then we went to Glen Eden, Piper Hall, and that's where Ann started the New Year's potluck. Because most people that were born close to Christmas didn't get anything, but they would get Christmas gifts, but not a gift as a party. So she decided, let's go ahead and have a party before Christmas. And that we did. And afterwards, we danced. And my job was to make a ham, big round ham. I would get it, I would bake it, take it out from the oven, then put in the decorations, the round pineapples and cherries, and then put it back in. bring it back out, and then put mar- the marmalade on top, and, and just let it drizzle, and put it back on, and then bring it out again, and that was it. And then serve it at the party. But of course, everybody wanted a piece, so that was it. A lot of smiles. Yeah, everybody was always smiling here. Everybody was nice, courteous, like no other place on earth. Glen Eden is the one that held it all, and it was fun. Oh, there was one that was very funny. It's about George Washington and so forth, and how he got lost. But I have it written down somewhere. I would rather read it than to say it because I don't want to ruin it. I must have been about 45 or maybe 50. I was young. But the kids were very fun. They were a lot of fun. But what made them go away was really the drinking. Somebody started drinking. And then it continued during the dance. And nobody could stop it. And those that were quiet and so forth, they left. And so a few of them stayed. And that's about it on that one. Because I remember the kids. I remember the people that helped them. Hazel was one of them. He's the one that used to take money from here, take it to the bank on a paper bag. Nobody would know that he had money. He would take it there. And he loved to bring ice cream to the kids. He used to have an ice cream shop. And the other person that I remember was Rod John. Rod John was a very nice feller. He liked to play with rocks. He's the one that built a fence around Glen Eden. He used to bring in hot dogs for the kids. They all used to eat hot dogs for lunch. So, a lot of very good memories. Very good memories. Well, I felt comfortable at all times in Glen Eden, especially when the firemen came over. They used to bring a lot of firemen. They used to park their cars, their trucks, right behind my home, where you see all them trees. That's where they used to park them. And then they would all go to their assigned area to fight the fires. And the fires were huge. I followed one of them with my camera. I started taking pictures. And even today, I don't know what happened to those pictures, but they disappeared. But there was a lot of action on those fires. And that was about it on that one, on the fires. And the men will come in and they will take a shower. And after they would take the shower, they were probably given a meal at the cafeteria, and then they left in an orderly manner. As you probably know, that most of those firefighters are really they're the prisoners around the area that they bring in to fight the fires. So, and they never bothered us. We stayed in one confined area. They would confine to one area. And then they would leave. When we had an area where the fire, they had an X and a great big pad where the helicopter would land. in case of an emergency, was at the baseball place that they had. That was behind my home. And a lot of parachuters came over here. They would parachute, they would land right there behind my home. And each one would take their cap off and put on their shorts. And that was about it as far as that one goes. But Glen Eden was really half wilderness and half city. Then it started spreading out like it is today. Now we have asphalt, we have big homes, but we do not have the jungle like we used to have. It disappeared. But the jungle was nice. The birds and the rabbits. Well, the softball game was made up of people coming in from the outside to play with us. Firemen were some of them. And sometimes we had kids that would come over and play. But it didn't last long. It lasted for a little while, and then they started making room for the tennis ball, because that was a big thing then. And that's how tennis got started. We started by 2, and then started by 4, then by 6. So that's all I can remember about that one. I play volleyball. And some of the girls play volleyball, the men play volleyball. That's about all that I can remember as far as that goes. Me, I was a pool player. I played pool a lot. I was what they call a Sharpie. I loved the game. I'm the one that brought in the 4 tables and so forth. And that's about it on that one. The Glen Eden is a very, very fine place. It grew from a jungle, and then it started everybody getting together building things. They started building the swimming pools, the buildings around there, including the cafeteria. The cafeteria at one time was really trucks coming in with food, selling the food on the grounds. But at the very beginning, there was no trucks or anything like that. They would come in, the people would stay in for that particular day, bring their own food, make their own stuff, and then leave. The people that would stay there were people that were on building 1, 2, and 3. I was number 3. So we made the laws the way we wanted Glen Eden to be. And then somebody started, man, let's have some drinks. Okay, we'll have it. Then so many things, the buildings and so forth. Maria Elena keeps me alive by giving me medications that the doctors prescribed to me. She's very important. She feeds me. She puts me to bed. She kisses me, and I says, thank you. And we have a very lovely situation. When Ann left, she's the one that picked me up. Because that was a tremendous loss for me. I really lost a good woman. That was St. Glendinning. Well, what happened to me at that time, I got tired. I have never gotten tired like that before in my life. I have always worked hard, but this time I really felt it. And then as I was walking through, a lady came over and says, "Are you guys going to Ricky's party? We're going to have a ceremony for him." Yes. I didn't know he was dead. And we came over and they were giving a speech about the library and so forth and the commitments. And then they says, "We're in trouble. We need a place." That's when I decided, okay, I would like to donate my place to you guys. And that's just why. Well, because I cannot work on it anymore. I just can't. So that was a main idea right there. That I couldn't work on it anymore like I wanted to. And it wasn't going any place because I wasn't doing anything like I should have. And that's why the donation happened. When I went over there, I heard that. I said, "Hey, that's it. I'm going to give my place to be donated." Well, Glen Eden is a very, very nice place. Be nice to everybody, and people will be nice to you. Give respect and kindness to small or big or old. And in itself, you will be covered because there's a lot of things to see. Glen Eden is a future. It's a good place to start learning, to start remembering, and to continue that is to come over and mingle with the people, talk to them, be nice to them. They'll be nice to you. Well, all I can say is that I had a wonderful life. I've been here a long time. I still enjoy Glen Eden. I would like to continue coming in. And it's a very nice place to be at. And the people are so wonderful. That's an insurance. Well, that's about all I got to say. There's a lot more that I would like to say, but I can't because I can't remember too well the names of the people. Thank you.